Day number 6. Today's video is titled Setting a Protein Target. And you may have heard of people throwing around protein all the time and thinking, why is protein so talked about? Why is it so popular? Why do I need to get or focus on protein? And putting it quite simply, without giving you the whole jargon of the science, protein is the most efficient macronutrient or the most essential macronutrient that your body needs to move you forwards towards your fat loss and muscle building goals. Simple as that. I'll give you a little glimpse of the science, but not too much, because I'm aware if you watched yesterday's video, it went on for about 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes, and I was looking back thinking, I am getting every point across as I need to get it across, but I still want to keep it easy to digest, not too long, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of information for me to share, and there's a lot more that I share with my clients. There's a lot to learn, but I'm just trying to give you the simple facts that's going to help you to move forwards efficiently. So a personal trainer is not just someone who puts someone through a workout on the gym floor. There's so much more to this process that a personal trainer and online coach will give to the client, and there's so much more for you to learn yourself if you're doing your own transformation too. So it's about taking information in, being patient and learning, and applying that to your everyday life too. Without me waffling again, protein intake. Let's look at, quite simply first off, protein is an appetite suppressant. So the more protein you consume, it's going to help you to feel fuller for longer, way more than carbohydrates will, way more than fats will as well, okay? So if you're in a fat loss phase and you're feeling hungry, potentially you can just increase your protein intake while potentially lowering something like your carbohydrates or your fats a little bit, just to kind of get the right balance. And then you'll actually feel fuller for longer while having the same amount of calories. I'm only going to touch on by saying each macronutrient. So protein and carbs have 4 calories per gram in each macronutrient there. And then in fats, you are getting 9 calories per gram. And also, it's not an essential by any means macronutrient, but alcohol is another macronutrient, which basically is 7 calories per gram, okay? But it's important to know that protein and fats are the essential macronutrients. Carbohydrates aren't actually essential, okay? We do use carbohydrates as a primary energy store, or it fuels the body for your training, for your cognitive performance as well, but it's not essential. We can survive without it, and we can definitely survive without alcohol, right? But fats are essential for a lot of transporting of, fat-soluble vitamins throughout the body to help get everything to your body as an energy store as well. But we're not going to talk about them. We're just going to talk about protein today. It's an appetite suppressant. So yes, 4 calories per gram. And if we look at the total daily energy expenditure, which I looked at in one of the previous videos as well, but I didn't want to go into it too much, I'll give you a little breakdown of what is involved in the TDEE for yourself as well. And that is, one of the components is the thermic effect of food, or some people call it the thermic effect of feeding. So that is that the food that you consume, each macronutrient requires a certain amount of calories from the body to burn that food, okay? So carbohydrates and fats, they only consume a certain amount of calories, or use a certain amount of calories from the body to burn that food and break it down. But protein has the highest thermic effect, okay? Which means the more protein you consume, the more calories you actually burn just breaking that down. So it means more calories you're burning throughout the whole day-to-day basis, which is crucial for fat loss. So if you're looking to burn body fat, this is an important way to help you do that, just by burning the extra calories through consuming more protein. And I don't want to touch on that anymore. I just want to say that. Hopefully that makes sense to you, and one of the reasons why protein is definitely pushed out there, because it's well researched. All the diets that do work from a calorie deficit, but to maximize the results is to keep it high protein as well, okay? When looking at calculating your protein target, I'm just going to give you 3 numbers that you can use. So on the lower end, if you are someone who struggles to get protein in, I'd say as an example, try and aim for around 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, okay? I almost thought I said pounds, but it's per kilogram of body weight. And that should keep you in a good place where you're still maintaining the muscle tissue you have, even in a deficit as well, okay? But ideally, for the average person, you want to be going up higher from that 2 grams per kilogram and go for about 2.4 grams per kilogram of body weight, okay? And that ensures, once again, depending on your activity levels and how often you're training, your training intensity, your requirements, I would say that's a very good place to be in to help as an appetite suppressant and to help you maintain and potentially build more muscle tissue too, okay? So this is at least probably the area I want to be in with most of my clients, okay? For the upper end, you don't have to be a bodybuilder to be at this end, but if you are someone who trains frequently, if you are living a really active lifestyle where you're burning a lot throughout the day, if you want to be the most efficient, you can go up to about 2.8 grams per kilogram of body weight as well, okay? So potentially as you're watching this, you've probably got your phone out and just try to calculate your own, which is good. And that's kind of what we need to see straight away. So kind of use a food tracker like MyFitnessPal to kind of establish where you currently are. More times than not, a lot of people can be a lot on the lower end of things. So you might even be consuming less than 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. So then you can say to yourself, right, I'm probably consuming about 1.5 grams per kilogram. Let me try and get a bit more in, because you might be consuming about 60 grams of protein a day. And for the average male and the average female, you're going to need more than that, to be fair. You know, a lot of research most of the research will suggest for you to have more, okay? And this is what I stick by, and in my experience works for me and works with my clients over the years too. So I'd say as a guide, try and focus on 2.4 grams per kilogram of body weight and go higher. So anywhere between 2.4 and 2.8 would be a very good place for you to be in, okay? That's all I'm going to say with that. If you need any suggestions about protein sources, feel free to drop me a message. I have my membership service as well, which actually gives you a whole lot of free recipes, protein options for you to have as well. There's a shopping list of high protein snacks and meals for you to consume. And you know, there's a whole lot more information on there too. And obviously I give all this information to the clients that I work with as well. But hopefully this has given you some easy to digest information about how important protein is for you as well. I'll see you in the next video.